Shalom, Yasharala. We're going to start off by giving infinite honors to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakar, Kodash. We're going to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. And salutation and greetings to you, sincere Akim, pushing this truth across the four winds, pushing sound doctrine throughout the planet without fear and trembling, and truth and sincerity. And when we say truth and sincerity, man, a part of this truth, a part of this sound doctrine is you knowing ancient history and being up with current events. Because what does a prophet do? He tells you what's going to happen before it happens. And ancient history and current events synchronize. And the way you synchronize them through the scriptures. There's no way you're going to be able to push this truth without knowing what happened in ancient Rome, ancient Babylon, Greece, Persia. And then when you come into our day and time to link it up and show what those prophets said was going to happen aforetime. All right? So you got to become a historian in this truth. You got to learn to understand the maps. You got to become a cartographer.
Geography.
Yeah, no geography. All right? This truth is vast and it's broad. So you have to study to show thyself approved. Bring out your precept, bro.
If I could say real quick, knowing the past gives you a precedent for what's going to happen in the future, because this Bible tells you how kingdoms fell in the past because they didn't follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. And it also goes into keeping into your eyes in the current events, because you see what the current kingdoms are doing right now. They're falling into the same pitfalls that the past kingdoms did. So putting that together, you can obviously see that this particular kingdom's about to come to its end because it's going through the same pitfalls that Rome did.
Right.
Homosexuality, the transgenderism, the feminism, letting their borders open, for instance.
History always repeats itself. So it's imperative you know history. You got it, bro.
This is Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small.
All right, so when you go to let's say give the Gospels for example, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. When you want to break those books down surgically, guess what? You got to know what was going on in that day and time. Okay? Who was the Caesar during that day and time? What was the laws that was regulating in that day and time? All right? The children of Israel were under hardcore slavery in that day and time. You have to be able to break that down. You don't learn that in modern day Christianity. If you ask your average Negro, was our great king in slavery, or was he enslaved or being oppressed during the time he walked the earth, they don't know that. And when you grow up in this Baptist and Methodist philosophy bullshit, they don't know that. So when you come in, man, you have to open up your understanding, and this truth is vast, man. You have to be able to link up history with these scriptures. You can't be ignorant in no thing, great or small, man. Okay? I'm going to bring out this scripture. This is Proverbs 15, verse 28. The heart of the righteous, and we know that word heart is the Hebrew word la'av. All right? Your mind. All right? Your spirit. The heart of the righteous studieth to answer. All right, so when you out here pushing this bread of life and teaching the truth of the scriptures, man, you have to be well studied. Okay, you can't be a vain jangler out there winging it. I mean, when a certain topic come up, no matter what the topic is, you want to be ready to answer it with grace, seasoned with salt. Okay, like the book of Peter say, be ready to answer every man who has his hope in this truth, man. Okay. Let me get another precept. All right. He brought it out first. He just brought it out. All right. Salakia.
But yeah, pretty much the worst thing you want to do is look like a fool out there on the highways and byways, especially when you're on camera, because everybody's gunning for us to get us trapped up in our words or to show us as unknowledgeable. And we are doing a lot.
Because when you speak, man, you gotta like when you read scriptures, get on Matthew 7 and 28. I mean, when you listen to somebody teach, even a fucking false prophet, the way he bewails people and beguiles people is because he sound like he know what the fuck he's talking about, even though he don't know shit. So when you out here talking, man, you gotta speak with power and know what you're talking about. Bring it out.
This is Matthew chapter 7, verse 28. And it came to pass when Yahushua had ended these sayings, the people were astonished at his doctrine.
All right, and his doctrine, man, is the doctrine that he taught is the doctrine he gave his disciples and his servants to teach. All right, and that's the same doctrine we're pushing week in and week out every day throughout the 4 winds, man. All right, we're teaching you so-called Negroes, Native Americans, and Latin-speaking people of the earth that you're the true children of Israel of antiquity. And then we go into the scriptures of ancient time past and the prophecies and link it up with history. We show you how the transatlantic slave trade links up with the scriptures. We show you how the 10 tribes came over here to the Western hemisphere first through the scriptures, okay? You have to be able to become a historian in this motherfucker, man. All right? That comes with the territory. All right? And being a mockingbird and hearing somebody saying it and you just regurgitating, another person that know what they're talking about can come and embarrass you. And I'm going to get into that scripture, the scripture I got next. So you have to be well studied to be a man of the Lord, man. And pray for the Most High, open up your understanding and pour His Spirit on you, man.
If I could say, all throughout the gospel, who's Yahushua quoting? The prophets of old, showing that he was knowledgeable in the past, so he could relate it to the present situation, similar with us.
Yeah.
He ain't telling you nothing that the people before him came and told you nothing.
Hey, when you read Romans 9 or Romans 11, Hebrews the 8th chapter, those are just the apostles, preferably Paul, reciting the writings of the prophets of old. So he was going back into ancient times. All right, he's just quoting scripture from things that happened aforetime. Okay, so you have to know these things, man. Finish reading that precept. All right.
Khan, Matthew 7:29. For he taught them as one having authority, not as the scribes.
When you teach as one that's having authority, you know what you're talking about. Our great king knew what he was talking about, man. He was well learned, well studied, okay? But at the end of the day, the Most High poured His Spirit up on him. Well, He gave him a mouthful of wisdom where the gainsayers can't resist. But for us to get that knowledge and that wisdom, man, we have to do this. We get this is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman. Now we're working. So when you study and you labor, you learning ancient history. You're looking at what station that was you was listening to today when they was talking about Korea.
I was listening to NPR, and they were talking about the spirit of Esau right now because they had David Duke, I believe it was his son, who was pretty much just relating the spirit that these Edomites are in right now. They're getting back into that old Esau spirit of coming after you, Jakes, because they know their time's short and they can see their kingdoms falling. So they're lashing out the only way they know how, through their carnal blessing, the sword.
And this is a news station, man. Like most people jump in their car and they turn on the radio, listen to this garbage. All right, this brother was listening to a news station up on current events, man, up on politics. All right,
but also studying to show you. I'll get that precept.
I got it.
You just got Khan.
All right.
But by studying and knowing all aspects of everything, like I was listening to this article and I could pick the bones out of the meat, because they were saying bullshit, because NPR is a government-owned radio station, but if you don't study all aspects of a particular situation, you won't know that. You'll fall for the okie doke.
And even if you're talking to somebody and they don't really not up on what you're talking about, they'll have somebody else listening and they'll hear what you're saying. They'll confirm what you're saying is true. Just from the knowledge they know.
Like even when you're on the highways, like you'll have a dumb nigga that don't know shit, grew up in the Baptist church, and you know we all know they dildo heads, and you'll be trying to enlighten them, open up their understanding so they can understand the scriptures through the Spirit, of course, and they'll just be rejecting everything you know, and then lo and behold, Edomite walk past, and you know your average Edomite is well read. Mm-hmm. Your average Edomite is well read.
They respect at least that knowledge.
Yeah, knowledge, and they'll come and confirm what you're saying. Now here come the coon. Now he's engaged. Now Massa then agree with what you're saying, and you're doing it through the Spirit. Now they want to hear. So you know it's imperative to know what you're saying, man. Speak with authority, man.
I can give a testimonial about that. We were outside of camp once, and we were talking about economics and such, and we had an old Edomite who looked like he was a professor. He didn't say anything, but he was just standing by the side, just listening. So you don't know who's listening when you're preaching out there. So that's why you should be knowledgeable on all subjects and hit all the key points.
Waiting for you to say something crazy so they could come and embarrass you.
Oh yeah, and then the Most High What you just said, bro. 2 Timothy 2 verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. See, when you get up there vain jangling and winging it, and you just sometimes when you just around this truth, you will hear something a topic that come on up over and over and over, and you've heard it so many times, you could just regurgitate it and just say what you've heard. But if another man come and he knows he has insight on that topic, and he asks you key pointers about that topic, you can't engage in a intellectual dialogue with him because you ain't studied. You see what I'm saying? So just hearing something over and over and regurgitating it, that's not truly being learned. That's not truly studying, man. You have to, when we go into Rome, man, you got to know it had an eastern front, it had a western front when they broke up. All right, the last leg of it was the Byzantine Empire. You had the Holy Empire and the pagan Roman Empire. The Holy one started during the time of Constantine. All right, you had a time when at the last leg the Jakes came in. All right,
Holy Roman.
you know what I'm saying? So you have to understand history and be able to break it down with grace, man. Because one can come and shame you if when you just being a mockingbird. Okay. All right, I got another one. Go to you break this down. All right? It don't matter. This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. Here we go. Blessed is he that readeth.
Why you say blessed them? Because if you study these scriptures, nobody else could come corrupt your mind with no folliness, some vain thoughts or whatever. Because what I know about Jake, if they don't understand if they won't know what you understand, they're gonna ask a bunch of questions. And when they ask a bunch of questions, you got to be able to counter everything that they're saying.
All right, not even just counter it. Just if they ask a question and they don't know, answer it accurately.
Be not ignorant in anything, great or small.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point. Because when people ask questions, you'll know if they know what they're talking about. Jake just don't like to answer questions because they don't want you to know that they don't know what you know.
If I could
Go ahead.
Slot, if I could say, we're coming in the footsteps of great men who were counselors of kings and emperors who were not ignorant in anything. They were giving advice on geopolitical matters. So you're in a very significant spot.
Even the king went to somebody.
Daniel rose up to be the second man in command in Persia, man. Joseph rose up to have the second highest place in Egypt. No, Daniel.
They called them advisors.
Daniel. Yeah, you're
Even
right.
a king
you're
went.
right.
Even a king went
in
to
Babylon.
somebody.
You're right. It was Babylon,
A
bro.
king went to somebody for advice before he made a move.
His counselors.
But these men of the Lord were well studied, well rounded. When you talk about Daniel, Joseph, all right, these guys they understood the current events that was going on in their day and time. All right, they were aware of what's going on around them. But guess what? They were spiritual men, holy men. All right.
If I could say real quick, this is what happens when you don't have men that aren't well read. Look at what happened to Rehoboam. He got counsel from his friends who were around his age, which ended up breaking up the northern and the southern kingdom. He didn't go with the wizened men who were helping King Solomon during his time.
Right, bro. That was a beautiful analogy. All right. And listen what the scripture says. And they that hear the words of this prophecy. All right. You have to know these prophecies in and out, man. All right. That's what wisdom and knowledge is, man. Understanding this word and applying it to your life, man. So if you know that shit's about to hit the fan, that all hell is about to break loose, and you believe, you have the faith of a mustard seed, and you believe what you hear, you're gonna believe these prophecies and get ready, and learn from the ant-eat sluggard and prepare for the winter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you know wisdom and knowledge is what's going to sustain you in the hard times, what you're supposed to be doing, swallowing down wisdom and knowledge as much as you can, man. All right? And when you swallow down wisdom and knowledge, it's vast. It's vast. You become an economist. You know what I'm saying? You learn about the economy and how when you get in the mark of the beast, how business and commerce is going to be done. and how it's not gonna be done as